In the peaceful, snow-covered town of Maple Ridge, Christmas was the one time every year when families forgot their worries. Kids played on frosty lawns, and the neighborhood glowed with lights that warmed even the coldest winter. But for 34-year-old Jacob Turner, this Christmas carried a different weight. His wife Emily had passed away 8 months earlier, leaving him alone with their 10-year-old son, Noah, who had barely spoken since the day she left, and all Jacob wanted was to bring back a little joy for his son by recreating the Christmas display Emily used to build. A display so famous that families from other towns would drive by just to see the magical lights, music, and the giant wooden reindeer Emily carved herself. But the newly elected HOA president, Mr. Whitlock, a strict, cold man who believed Christmas decorations made the neighborhood look childish, had passed a new rule banning outdoor displays longer than 6 feet wide, claiming it was to maintain visual consistency, and everyone knew it was targeted at Jacob, who had always put up the biggest, warmest, most loved Christmas scene on the block. Ignoring the unfair rule, Jacob spent the freezing weeks rebuilding Emily's display, using old photos to get every detail right because he wanted Noah to feel his mom's presence just once more. And when he finally turned on the lights for the first time, with snow falling gently and the reindeer glowing softly, Noah's eyes lit up for the first time in months. But just minutes later, Mr. Whitlock stormed down the sidewalk with a flashlight and a clipboard, yelling that Jacob was violating HOA standards, handing him a $1,500 fine and giving him 24 hours to remove everything. That night, Noah cried himself to sleep, whispering, "Dad, Mom loved Christmas. Why won't they let us have it?" And Jacob sat alone in the cold, staring at the lights, feeling powerless and defeated. But what he didn't know was that the neighbors, especially an elderly couple, the Harrisons, who had been friends with Emily, had seen everything. Early the next morning, as Jacob was preparing to take down the decorations, dozens of neighbors showed up on his lawn holding boxes of lights, extension cords, hot coffee, and tools, telling him we're putting this up again together. And despite Jacob insisting that they'd all get fined, they simply replied, "Let him try." By the evening, the entire street was transformed into a breathtaking Christmas wonderland. Every house covered in lights, every yard filled with inflatable snowmen, candy canes, and nativity scenes, turning Maple Ridge into the brightest block in the state. Furious, Mr. Whitlock marched down the road, taking pictures and writing fines for nearly every house. But something unexpected happened. One of the neighbors live streamed him on TikTok as he threatened a group of children for putting lights on a mailbox. And within hours, the video went viral nationwide with millions of views. People commenting things like, "This HOA is insane, and let them celebrate Christmas." Reporters showed up, and by the next morning, the town's mayor called for an investigation. But the situation became explosive when Jacob received a letter from the HOA threatening legal action for defamation because the display had brought unwanted attention to the neighborhood. Instead of backing down, Jacob held a community meeting on his lawn where more than 120 residents showed up, demanding a vote to remove Whitlock as HOA president. Whitlock panicked, shouting that they had no authority. But a retired lawyer who lived next door stepped forward, holding a thick binder of HOA bylaws, and said, "Actually, we do," and the crowd erupted with applause. The vote passed overwhelmingly, and Whitlock was removed on the spot. But before he left, he revealed his true motive. He had secretly been planning to sell parts of the neighborhood common area to a private developer and needed all houses to look strictly uniform to increase property value. His plan fell apart instantly when the removed board members confessed everything. To avoid legal consequences, within days, the County HOA Regulatory Committee launched a full audit, discovering financial misuse, forged signatures, and illegally issued fines, including the one given to Jacob. By Christmas Eve, the entire board had been dissolved, and a temporary resident committee took over, officially canceling all fines and declaring Christmas displays open and free for everyone. That night, Jacob turned on his full Christmas display at exactly 7 p.m., and hundreds of families from surrounding towns came to see it. Just like the old days when Emily was alive, and as the snow continued to fall, Noah tugged on Jacob's coat and whispered, "Dad, I feel Mom here." And Jacob wrapped his arm around him, staring at the glowing reindeer Emily carved, feeling peace for the first time in months. Then the Harrisons handed Jacob a framed photo of Emily working on her decorations years ago, saying she'd be proud of you both. And the entire neighborhood joined together, singing carols under the twinkling lights, proving that no HOA rule, no power-hungry president, and no darkness could ever defeat the spirit of Christmas or the love of a community united.